Is it possible to navigate the economy with all the detailed statistics, misinformation, and media hype? We'll keep you up to date by decoding the mainstream headlines. Stay tuned. It's in your prime interest. A whole new level of political discontent was displayed this weekend in Washington, D.C. On Sunday, thousands of veterans from across the United States led a pilgrimage to the World War II Memorial on the National Mall. Janet Yellen is the first major executive branch nominee to be confirmed since the upper chamber's confirmation rules have been changed. What, you don't go around with helicopter money? That was his actual defense. Oddly, he made no comments on Cyprus.
A lot of people believe that the real goal of Obamacare, the real hidden agenda, was the creation eventually of a single-payer system, socialized medicine writ large. Was that ever mentioned when you were in the White House on the day that Obamacare was passed and signed?
No, absolutely not. And I think that's giving the government way too much credit. I think what we had was a handful of bureaucrats who thought that they were smarter than all the free market forces working together. But that's just how central planners think. But eventually, the free market will, due to market forces, will make these central programs eventually implode, which will happen to Obamacare eventually. And when it does, could it perpetuate a single-payer system? Possibly. The power to coin money in the Constitution was clearly stipulated to be delegated to Congress. That would be overseen by 535 members. That's now been delegated to a board of a very select few, which are not elected by the people. That's another reason, is that these are unaccountable, unelected bureaucrats that are basically responsible to nobody. Also because it's very secretive, which we're talking about. The Federal Reserve has never been fully audited by an outside source. The GAO, which is another part of the government, has looked into its books some, but there's still so much about the Fed that we don't know. Mel Watt is a representative from North Carolina and spent the past 20 years on the Financial Services Committee. But he's also the same politician who made this interesting comment about derivatives. Take a listen.
A lot of these arguments that I'm hearing today are the same arguments that I heard about derivatives. Well, I didn't know a damn thing about derivatives. I'm still not sure I do.
So let me get this straight. Obama believes the right person to wind down trillions of dollars of derivatives at Fannie and Freddie is someone who spent 20 years on the Financial Services Committee and doesn't understand derivatives. Our government says if you meet these criteria, such as having a camera near a point of interest, like to pay in cash, has more than 7 days worth of food, you are a terrorist suspect. When we see this transfer of gold, where do you think it's going to go?
I think it's going from the west to the east, from the debtors to the creditors, and that's a shift of wealth.
Not everyone thinks this bond buying program will be beneficial in the long run, however.
Ironically, this is the greatest engine of reverse income distribution ever imagined. It's kind of an inverse Robin Hood policy.
And tell me who's benefiting from QE.
It's basically the 1%.
Despite the House and Senate both passing separate budgets, we still don't have an agreed upon one or several key measures, including a farm bill, a permanent doc fix to Medicare, and 14 of the 18 key appropriations bills. In the past, these have been nonpartisan measures. But some people prefer their Congress doing nothing.